Donald Trump has diarrhea of the mouth. And that mouth is getting him into more and more trouble every single day. Now, his latest problem, let us call it, is this particular clip from, and I'm giving you this particular clip from a speech that he gave today. Listen to what this guy says, and then I'll make my comments.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But
all right. First of all, Hillary Clinton has continuously said that she does not want to abolish the Second Amendment. She wants to put some controls over who can buy what. And you can come in on either side of that. She wants to put some controls on the types of weapons that regular people can go out and purchase. You can come in on either side of that. But what Donald Trump said here, basically, it can be interpreted several different ways. One of the ways that it can be interpreted is that the Second Amendment people can go after her physically. Another way that it could be interpreted is that the Second Amendment guys can go after judges that she names specifically. There is no doubt in my mind that he is talking about her after she wins the election, okay? Now, there is another school of thought that was really hard to come by, but a couple of people have mentioned it, specifically Mr. Giuliani, that the Second Amendment people could speak out against her and vote against her, but there's no way that that's what it was. A more rational, potentially viable school of thought would be that after she's elected, the Second Amendment people could go to their senators and put pressure on their senators not to confirm any of the judges. I'm going to tell you though, in listening to various newscasts, and I haven't checked with Fox yet, but and I have a feeling I know where they're going, but the mainstream school of thought, just looking at Twitter, Facebook, a couple of other places that I looked at, is that this guy was advocating some Second Amendment people taking this to the mat and going for violence of some kind, either assassination of her or assassination of judges. I don't know about you, but you know, I just don't understand this guy. Every time he goes away from those teleprompters, the real Donald Trump comes out. And with all the crazy things that he says, and then he has all of his surrogates out there trying to clean up his diarrhea of the mouth, there's only so much cleaning that these guys can do. So I'm just saying, when I first heard this, I thought about violence, okay? And that's my opinion. I've had a chance to hear a whole bunch of different people saying different things, and I still am leaning towards him advocating some type of violence, but I'm not leaning as hard as I was when I initially heard this, after I heard other people's opinions and then thought about it for a little while. But just him saying what he said and not being specific enough to either push it all the way to the end where he is actually advocating violence, or specifically saying using the Second Amendment people can use their political clout in order to try to do something. He left it wide open. And then when he did a follow-up speech, he did two speeches. This was the first one he gave early in the afternoon. He gave a later speech. He said everything in his speech other than the inclusion of the Second Amendment people doing something. So he knew he fucked up. And he wouldn't come out later on after the media approached him about it. He wouldn't clean it up himself. He left it to others to clean up. So I think he's doing this stuff on purpose. I honestly do. And statements like this, they don't help him. So I'm just really wondering if he really is mentally all there. But you make your own call. Like I said initially, I really thought he was calling for violence against Clinton. And then I thought about it a little more, and I'm still kind of think he was advocating some kind of violence, but I wasn't as strongly in that camp. But honestly, I'm still there. I think that he's talking to a certain group of people, and not all Second Amendment supporters, but a certain group within the Second Amendment supporters. And I think he's blowing a dog whistle, and hopefully you don't get some nut that hears what he wants to hear in that, and we have a serious problem. And and I don't even want to say what that problem could be, because that would be a national tragedy. And if something does happen, I don't think that this guy would be safe in this country because of this particular comment that he made. All right, anyway, you make your own call. Sorry, folks, but I just had to add this. This prick, Rudy Giuliani, is going to get out here and try to clean up this mess. Now, it's funny that when he was on various Sunday morning talk shows and he halfway got cornered, he stated that he couldn't know exactly what was in Donald Trump's mind. Funny now, all of a sudden, he knows exactly what's in Donald Trump's mind. Here's the statements that he made regarding the whole situation.
Tonight at another campaign stop in North Carolina, Trump introducer Rudy Giuliani gave the campaign's alternate version of Trump's comments.
What he said very clearly was that if Hillary Clinton were elected president, she would get to appoint judges to the Supreme Court, and among the other things that they would do to destroy us would be to do away with the Second Amendment and your right to bear arms. And then he said, and you have the power to do something about it. And what he meant by that was, you have the power to vote against her. You have the power to campaign against her. You have the power to speak against her. You know why? Because you're Americans.
All right, and that's clearly not what Trump said. Clearly not what Trump said. But apparently Rudy knew what was in his mind, but what was in his mind didn't come out of his mouth. So, sorry about that, but I just felt like that clip had to be added to this.